Have you ever felt like the harder you work, the more financially stuck you get? Well, today we're going to dig into the hidden math that proves you're not just imagining it. We're going to uncover exactly why being broke is actually the most expensive way to live, and, more importantly, how you can start to break that cycle.
So picture this. You're running late, your phone buzzes, it's a notification from your bank, and your stomach just drops. Insufficient funds, a $35 overdraft fee. Why? Because a streaming service renewed itself when you had $23 in your account, not the $25 you needed. And that quote on the screen? Yeah, that's not some exaggeration. That is the harsh reality for millions of people.
Now, this isn't just about one little mistake or a bit of bad luck. You know, most financial advice out there just blames you. Skip the lattes, be more disciplined. But that completely misses the point. This is a systemic issue, not some personal failing.
There's actually a name for this whole thing. It's called the poverty penalty, and it's a pretty brutal system where just for having less money, you're forced to pay extra fees and higher prices, costs that people with more money never even have to think about. This isn't just some abstract theory. It's a real, measurable thing that happens every single day.
Let's take a super simple example, laundry detergent. Okay, if you have some cash reserves, you can buy that big bulk container, right? And each load of laundry costs you about 15 cents. But if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you can probably only afford the small bottle, where that same load suddenly costs 60 cents. It is the exact same soap, but you're paying 4 times more simply because you couldn't afford the big one up front.
And this penalty goes way, way beyond just groceries. The real damage, the stuff that really hurts, happens in banking. That's where the system is literally designed to profit from people when they are at their most vulnerable.
And it usually starts with this number, $35. We all know this one. It's the fee for being just a couple of bucks short. It feels punishing, for sure, but when you actually do the math, you realize it's not just punishing, it's predatory.
Seriously, think about it. If your account is overdrawn by just $6 and you get hit with that $35 fee, you've basically just taken out a tiny short-term loan. But the kicker is, when you calculate the interest rate on that loan, it's over 50,000% APR. I mean, a loan shark would go to jail for that. A bank just calls it business as usual.
And we're not talking about pocket change here. Banks are collecting nearly $6 billion a year in these fees. And get this, it's almost exclusively from people who have less than $1,000 to their name. It's a system where the wealthy earn interest and the poor pay it. Simple as that.
So let's just be really clear about this. Every single late fee, every overdraft charge, every predatory interest rate, that's not a mistake in the system. It is the system. It's a feature, not a bug, and it's designed to pull money from the people who can least afford it.
Now, all this constant financial pressure doesn't just drain your bank account. It has a huge, scientifically proven effect on your brain and your ability to actually make decisions.
So studies have actually shown that the mental burden of just worrying about money can reduce your cognitive capacity by about 13 IQ points. To put that in perspective, that's the same as pulling an all-nighter, or even being legally drunk. Your brain is so busy with just trying to survive that you physically lose the bandwidth for long-term thinking. And this cognitive overload, it's why people make choices that seem completely illogical from the outside. Like, taking out a payday loan at 400% interest. It's not a character flaw. It's a symptom of your brain being totally maxed out, just trying to make it through the day. And of course, this creates a vicious cycle of stress, leading to poor choices, which just leads to, well, more stress. So how in the world do you even begin to fight back against a system like this? Well, the first step isn't about getting rich. It's about stopping the bleeding. It's all about playing defense.
This is exactly why most traditional investment advice is just completely useless for someone in this situation. Being told to, invest in index funds while you're drowning in 22% credit card debt, that's like someone telling you to go water your garden while your house is literally on fire.
You have to put out the fire first.
So this requires a huge mental shift. Paying off high-interest debt isn't an expense. It is the single best, guaranteed return on investment you will ever find, period. No stock can promise you a guaranteed 22% return, but your credit card company sure does. Every single month you carry that balance.
Okay, so before you can even think about building wealth, you have to stop losing money. And this is where you build your escape pod, your way out of this whole poverty penalty machine.
The blueprint here starts with two really critical steps. First, what we'll call a bleeding audit. You have to become a detective and hunt down every hidden fee, every forgotten subscription that's just draining your account. And second, the fortress strategy, where you build your first line of financial defense.
And that fortress, it begins with $1,000. Now listen, this is not a vacation fund. It's not for a down payment. This money is your buffer. It's your escape pod. It's the fund that buys you options and freedom and an exit from the system's traps.
Think about it. With $0 saved, a flat tire is a total catastrophe that can send you spiraling into debt. But with $1,000 saved, that same flat tire is just an annoyance that you handle. This buffer doesn't just protect you, it totally rewrites the rules. It gives you the option to, say, raise your insurance deductible, which lowers your monthly bill. It lets you buy the quality work boots that last for years instead of the cheap ones that fall apart in a few months. It's your ticket out.
So the ultimate goal here is to completely rewire how you think about money. You have to shift from just being a consumer to being an investor in your own life. Stop asking, can I afford the monthly payment? And instead, start asking this question with every single purchase you make. Is this making my life more or less expensive over time? Because that mental shift, that's how you stop playing their game and start winning your own.